Alright, budget magic. Dark Dweller land destruction in Modern. We can't keep a zero lander. Still can't keep a zero lander. Alright. Well, I guess it's Dark Dweller with no action time. Flooded Strand for our opponent. Evolving Wilds, go. Opponent cracks Flooded Strand. Gets a Godless Shrine. Plains for our opponent. And Spellskite. Not that relevant. Evolving Wilds, we're going to get a mountain here. Well, Beast Within at least lets us flash something back with our Dark Dwellers eventually. I don't know what our opponent's on. Tide Hollow Sculler. Alright, that can take our Beast Within. Yup. And Temple Garden. So this is some sort of, maybe Abzan Company. Well, we drew a Molten Rain, which is something at least. I think we go after the green source. Put our opponent to 17. So we're still going to need lands or action here. Land isn't great. Like, land gets us to Dark Dweller, which is somewhat helpful, but if they get to Collected Company and so forth, we're still in trouble. Kosali Pride Mage. Gets in for 3 with Sculler. We draw a forest, play the forest. Well, let's see how bad this turn goes for us. Next turn we can flashback Molten Rain with Dark Dweller, which is something. But if our opponent can do something great right here with 4 mana, then we're still in a really bad position. Of course, this was another one of our infamous Multifives, so... What's the plan? Mardu Ascendancy. Whenever a creature you control attacks, put a 1/1 red goblin creature token onto the battlefield tapped and attacking. Alright, spicy, I guess. So we take a ton of damage thanks to Mardu Ascendancy. They play a Dryad Arbor. Well, Stone Rain would have been better last turn. We get to Goblin Dark Dweller, flashback the Molten Rain, kill the Dryad Arbor. Pass the turn. But if our opponent has a path or something, we're just in such a bad place. Hierarch. Opponent attacks with Pride Mage. Well, I guess we just block the Pride Mage. Forest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we can Dark Dwellers for no value, or we can Stone Rain. I guess we gotta just Stone Rain here. Hit the Stomping Grounds. But, yeah, this Multi-5 isn't quite working out. And, yeah, we're dead. We don't have main deck Angers or anything, so we'll scoop it up. Well, hard to win on a Multi-5. We've had a lot of rough draws. Flame Slashes seem good. Going down Avalanche Riders. Acid Moss. An Acidic Slime. A Molten Rain, and I guess the Dismember, and run it like that. Well, at least we have things we can cast. Utopia Sprawl is helpful. Means we get to Stone Rain on turn 1. Hopefully our opponent doesn't have a Noble Hierarch or a discard spell. But Forest into Utopia Sprawl on red and pass the turn. Catacombs. Oh, it looks like they are going to have a Noble Hierarch. Or a discard spell, one or the other. Maybe both, and they're trying to decide which land to get for which one they want to cast. Gets a Stomping Ground, so not discard. Likely Hierarch. Birds, similar. So we get a Forest, which actually means we can play our other Utopia Sprawl. So Forest, tap this, use the green to Utopia Sprawl our other Forest. For red, tap that, and we get to Stone Rain the Stomping Ground. Pass the turn. So we have Acidic Slime for next turn. We really could use an Inferno Titan. That seems to be one of the themes of this deck, is we don't draw Inferno Titan often enough. And our opponent drew a Sculler, which can take our Acidic Slime. Pretty disappointing. And we draw, well, I guess we can Flame Slash the Sculler to get back our Acidic Slime, even though we can't cast it this turn. But if we pass and they have another Sculler, we can't cast it next turn either. So I guess we might as well do this. Opponent does have the third land, Overgrown Tomb. And that leads to Mardu Ascendancy. Alright. Well, good news is we get to Evolving Wilds, thin a land out of our deck by getting a Mountain. Arbor Elf is not super exciting, and we can't even cast it if we want an Acidic Slime. So let's just Acidic Slime, kill Mardu Ascendancy. And they're going to sack it, which doesn't really do anything. Play the Mountain, pass the turn. So come on, Titans! We need Titans! Seems like drawing a Titan is very correlated with us winning. And we are not very good at drawing them, for some reason. Another land for our opponents. So they have 4 lands. That means they could have, like, Collected Company or something. Cracks it. Gets a forest. High Arc. So they can start attacking for 1 with their birds. Another Mardu Ascendancy. And, alright, we draw a Beast Within, which I guess isn't horrible. So we'll Arbor Elf. And I guess we just pass the turn for now. We might end up casting Beast Within on one of our lands. Courser for our opponent with a Tide Hollow Sculler on top. Goes to attacks. Gets in for 1, but we just eat the token. Mountain, alright, we'll play the Mountain. Pass the turn. Birds of Paradise on top. Come on, Titan! Oh, Inferno Titan would be so good! Dark Dwellers, I guess, would be fine. Not, like, insane, but fine. Attacks with the birds. Which means we just eat the token again. There's the Sculler, which means we're just going to Beast Within one of our lands. Get another 3/3. Well, since we drew Thragtusk, I think... do we want to attack? Let's attack with Acidic Slime. Opponent takes the damage. And then we will play Thragtusk. Go up to 23, create a pretty big body for blocking. Still want the Inferno Titan, though. That's... alright, opponent has a Spellskite. Luckily, we have enough creatures that we can just kind of eat all their tokens that they make with the Mardu Ascendancy. There's another birds. And their last card is another Mardu Ascendancy. No attacks. Finally! It happened! Oh, thank God! So how do we want to do this? Let's attack with Thragtusk and Acidic Slime. See what our opponent does. They might sack a Mardu Ascendancy to make their creatures bigger to, like, kill the Thragtusk or something. We wouldn't mind that. We also might get them to sack one by pinging birds, hierarch birds, that might force their hand on sacking one. If they don't block here, we just win with Inferno Titan. Alright, they block. They sack Mardu Ascendancy. This goes up to 7? Yeah, that's fine. They sack Mardu Ascendancy, so it goes up to 7 toughness. They kill our Thragtusk. But then we play Inferno Titan. And this is either going to make them sack their second Ascendancy or lose their Courser. And if they sack their second Ascendancy, then we should be able to win next turn. Well, in the next couple turns, assuming nothing horrible goes wrong, by pinging down their stuff with Inferno Titan. Spellskite can't redirect it if we split it up between everything. They're trying to decide if they want to sack their Mardu Ascendancy. Is that worth it? They do. Alright, so they want their Courser alive, but now they have no Mardu Ascendancies. And we still have an Inferno Titan. Top card is a Pride Mage, so they can play Spellskite, sure, whatever. And then we are going to start going to town on their board, and they scoop it up. Sweet. Alright, we got there. Whoo, we finally drew. I told you, it's all about drawing that Inferno Titan. That is the big deal in this deck. We're going to run it back like this for Game 3. Ugh. Alright, Game 3. Another mulligan. Ugh. Alright, we'll try it. Thragtusk to bottom. We need green mana. If we get green mana, this hand might be alright. We get to Flame Slash the birds, which is something. Not green mana. Pass the turn. Windswept Teeth cracks it. Godless Shrine. Qasali Pride Mage. Green mana? Forest, please. Oh, another mountain. Oh. Our budget mana base is coming back to haunt us in this one. Another Pride Mage. So we're taking 4 here. We're really going to need that green mana soon. And our opponent has another land. Inferno Titan looking a little slow. Guess we'll hit the Godless Shrine, keep him off black mana. Pass the turn. Yeah, if we... I think we had a chance. I mean, we could draw Anger of the Gods. That's our best non-forest draw. Might even be better than a forest, but we got to draw forest at some point if we are going to stay in this game. At some point soon. Well, we can Flame Slash. Slows down the clock a little bit, but not green mana. Oh. Alright. Taking 3 from the Pride Mage with Exalted. Another mountain. Oh, no! So many mountains and 0 forests. We have more forests than mountains, too. As our life total slowly drains away to this Qasali Pride Mage. A Thrun. Oh, we're cursed. We've definitely had some really bad running. Now a forest doesn't even really do it. Ah, our opponent draws a land. Yeah, and that is all she wrote. Downside to not being able to play dual lands, that's for sure. Or fetch lands, 4 dual lands. Definitely makes the mana a lot worse. Down to 3. Doran, alright. And Flame Slash doesn't do it, and that's the game.